Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome once again to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. Today, I'm going to talk about a little history. I'm going to talk about MHZ boats. I'm going to talk about cheap Chinese outriggers and I'm going to talk about where this is going. So anyway, let's begin at the beginning. Many years ago, I was thumbing through eBay and I saw this interesting looking little outrigger made in China at what then was a stupid cheap price. It was like $69 or something like that. And it was all fiberglass. And I said, well, how can you go wrong? Yeah, well, so I bought one of those things and it came and I sent a message to the manufacturer. Says, you got any specs on this? Any parameters, numbers, depths and such? And they said, look at this website. And I said, okay. And so I went to this website and lo and behold, it was Big B. Now, Big B had just bought one of these things and he was setting it up. And some of Big B's setup for this thing had me scratching my head because I knew that this particular boat, the plug that they made the mold from was screwed up. Whoever made the plug had no idea what a tub with a ski was. And so they made the ski the entire tub. And then they had these nice, smooth, rounded corners and these nice, big, smooth, rounded surfaces on the ride surfaces. So it took a whole lot of work to clean that up. Big B finally noodled around and tried a number of different drive situations, and I think he's finally got something that works. Is it the best? Well, I don't know. You're making a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Anyway, that's how I came to find Big B. The manufacturer said, hey, check this out. So why am I telling you this story? The second story for this morning. So I went to the MHZ website because this is my next project, and basically it's nothing more than a scaled down version of the American Spirit, which, by the way, is still drying. I'm going to hit it lightly with 2000 grit, shoot a few coats of clear, and start assembling all the stuff. So that's where it is. So it's out there looking good. So this is the next one on my project. And as I was thumbing through the MHZ site, I said, let's go over and look at the 25, they're calling it the 25.8 inch hydro now, instead of, they used to call it the Miss Exide, because I think they realized that it wasn't really a scale model of the Miss Exide, and maybe there might have been copyright infringements. I don't know, and I don't even want to know. So they've changed the name and just given the dimensions. This is now the 17-point-something inch hydro instead of the Miss Madison. So I'm looking at the bigger hydro, and I'm going on the website and it says, oh, look, here's a link to an assembly video. And I click the link and lo and behold, it's my video. Oh, well, now that's cool. MHZ has linked my video, sort of like the Chinese guys that couldn't get that outrigger straight linked Big B's video. So that's cool. And I'm sure Big B got a lot of viewers from that link. So if anybody has found my website from the MHZ link, Hey, many thanks to MHZ. That's cool. That's cool that you would list my link. So, for you folks at MHZ, I will do this for you. I will go through this very carefully. Now, Big B has already given you the meat and potatoes of setting up a boat, the hows and whys. I'm, for the most part, going to assume you already know that stuff, and I'm not going to spend as much time saying why and showing you how. I'm just going to talk about it and show you the end result kind of thing. So that's my approach. That's the salsa and guacamole, where Big B gives you the meat and potatoes of the stuff, you know, the stuff you really need to know. I give you the little flavor on top of it to make it, you know, extra good. So we're going to set this up. So we're going to set this up to be a bit of a goer. This is the same motor I first put in that same outrigger that Big B built. And the problem with this motor is, in that boat, I had to run a really big prop. I was running 36 and 37 millimeter props in a boat that should take a 27 millimeter prop. And so it was all over the place with, you know, in a straight line, it went like stink, but, you know, it took every bit you could do to make it go in a straight line. So with that in mind, I'm going to use this motor, and I'm just not going to prop it up to go that awfully fast. I'm going to let the motor spin up, get a little more efficiency. Now, Big B doesn't like air-cooled motors because they're in an enclosed space. And to a point, he's got a point. This doing in here will be just fine because I'm not pushing the envelope. This is not a how fast can I make it possibly go boat, because this boat, like his Delta Force, will become an airplane real fast because it traps a lot of air. Oh, here's a little side thought for you, Big B. People talked about your wing here. If you go to, and in fact, this is the reason I went to MHZ's website in the beginning. They've got a photograph of a boat like this that somebody has come in and made a little wing right here that came up like that and went up along the canopy to push the nose down. Big B, don't listen to these people that say, oh, the manufacturer did it this way. Well, the manufacturer had certain parameters. Big B is not operating on those parameters. He's operating on his own parameters. Thank you very much. And a little downforce up on the front end won't hurt you at all, especially, well, now the UL-19, it's got the cutout sponson, so you're dumping a lot of air out there, so it's not going to be quite as flighty. But keeping the nose down, not a bad idea. Okay, enough of that. So for you guys at MHZ, I'll do a cool build sequence on this for you. I think I'll probably do the same thing I did on the American Spirit. I'll cut this out. In fact, I might even use the same exhaust stack. It'll look better at this scale. And then I'll take a piece of carbon fiber sheet and seal this out so I can have it open here and open here just for looks. It'll be a fun project. And get a load of this too. This is the same rudder as is on the American Spirit, only smaller. This is the same exact strut as on the American Spirit, only smaller. I'm going to set them up exactly the same. I'm going to use that same little slide-in motor mount. I'm going to stick this motor up about, there, so I can drop it in. So I have the motor there, speed control up there, and I may wind up having to put the batteries up in the sponsons like I did in the Spirit, just to get it to balance. Because, like I said, with the Spirit, this thing balances right about here, and there's a whole lot of boat here and a whole lot of air here. So I'm going to have to put a lot of metal and metal up in there to make it work. So there you go, boys and girls. Just an update, a shout out to MHZ, and a little history on how I stumbled into Big B. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out.